W2AV Talk with Demetris Curry. Here's your gateway to discovering the formula to a more gratifying life with the accountability you need to start and stay energized, inspired, and on top. Author and wealth strategist Demetris Curry is a nationally leading voice and go-to authority on insurance and financial literacy. Got questions about your finances, relationships, healthy living, or professional life? W2AV talks about it all, along with tips to enhance your overall well-being. W2AV Talk with Demetris Curry.
Hello, everyone. This is Demetris Curry coming to you today with Authors Unite, sponsored by W2AV Talk and Demetris Curry. And I'm so excited to be with you today, guys, because we have been pulling together this particular book of work with authors across the globe. And no one other than Miss Jessica BAGGETT is with us today. I'm so excited to have her here. But before we get into that, I want to make sure that we touch on why Authors Unite was brought to the forefront. So Authors Unite is really about authors pulling together to tell their stories behind the scene. Who are they? And besides the book of work that they put onto the internet and maybe in your favorite publishing company or probably your favorite bookstore, who are they behind that book of work, and why did they think that what they had to say or what they had to bring to the forefront was so important to put on paper? Maybe it was something that they felt was motivational, maybe it was their personal testimony, possibly it was to inspire. But regardless of the reason, we want to make sure we get to know that author behind the scenes. So today we have Miss Jessica BAGGETT with us, and she is just extraordinary. I've had the opportunity to speak with her and talk with her already on some of her wonderful works that she's done, including The Keys of Life and The Keys to Life and Lessons Learned, okay? Not to mention the struggle is real. The struggle is real. We're going to talk about that as well. But Miss BAGGETT is out of the New Jersey area, and I'm telling you, she has an extraordinary story, but I don't want to give it away. I want her to come on in and let's just start talking about where this all began for her. Jessica, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us today. You're welcome. I'm so excited that you're here, and your book of work is just amazing. And, you know, something that I love to talk to people about is mental health, but I want to give the floor to you to talk about the things that you've put out there in the author space and why you thought it was so important to share with others.
Well, my writing career actually started when I was when I was like 8 or 9 years old. I started, my grandfather sent me a keyboard, and it was weird because I didn't even know that he knew me, and I didn't really know him, but he just sent it to me. I didn't even know him at the time. And then when he came to stay downstairs from us, he started teaching me how to play the piano. And then like I started writing songs at that age, 9 and 10. And then when I was 12, I wrote my first play for my church called The Meaning of Easter. And it was a great play, you know, people enjoyed it. And so from there, that's when I really got into writing. And The Keys of Life, which was my first book, I actually wrote that as a film script. That's what I really wrote it as. But at the time, it was hard to get scripts out there. And I was just like, I want to share my story any way I could. So I was like, well, maybe if I turn it into a book, then people could actually read it and then they can hear my story, the story of it. So I went on to write The Keys of Life. Then the sequel was The Keys to Life. Third book was Lessons Learned. And the newest book is The Struggle is Real. So that's how like I got into writing and everything like that. So.
Wow. And, you know, that's a blessing that your grandfather actually sort of started helping you with that along the way, just starting off with the areas of things that he saw that you may have loved, or, you know, you said you didn't know him that well.
I didn't even know that he knew that I didn't know him at all. I never spoke to him.
Wow.
He just sent it to me out of all his experience. He just sent it to me, and I was like, I didn't know like why, you know.
So that was just like a seed. You like, oh, let me plant this seed, right? Wow. And who would have known that seed have grown to harvest of this extent, right?
It did.
Yeah, that's amazing. So in your particular books, what you're talking about, your personal experiences, which is what really stood out to me, is the personal experiences that you were so transparent and talking about. Tell us more about that.
Well, like I said, I'm mostly an open book. I don't mind sharing because I feel like people need to hear my story. I feel like I'm a living testimony because doctors told me that I wouldn't ever like be able to do things that I've done. They told me I would end up in a facility somewhere or even worse. But look at me now. I'm doing things that I never thought that I would be able to do. And I want to share that story and I want to make an impact. I want to be kind of like the new face of mental health. I want to like do so much, with it. And I feel like with the struggle is real, that this book is the most personal one. The struggle is real because it's like my story told through different characters, different situations. And it's like if you don't have a mental health illness, when you read the book, you would feel how it feels to like would have it first come on and what it feels like to have a mental health condition. And if you have a mental health condition or know somebody, it will actually help you because it tells you things, how you can cope with things. Even at the end of my book, I have like a questionnaire in the back where you could like fill out different things and talk about like, and it tells you like what things do you like to do, what makes you happy. I remember exercise one of my therapists gave me, and I carry that with me. She told me one day, he said, go online and ask people like what do they like about you. And I wasn't gonna do it at first, but then I was like, let me just try, because I was feeling really down about myself and I was feeling very depressed. So I was like, let me just try it. So I wrote on Facebook, I'm like, what do you like about me, or what is so special about me? The whole page is flooded with so many different comments. And it really changed me and touched me because it felt like, people actually, care about me and they actually see the things that I'm doing and they see me achieving and they're happy about that. So that kind of made me just different tools like that in the book to help you, get through whatever you're going through.
Right, right. Wow. And mental health is real. We know mental health is truly a real thing. And sometimes people don't even know that they're going through the struggle. They just know that they feel different, or, their days are harder, or, possibly they just can't seem to get through a circumstance because mentally they just can't get over that hurdle.
Mhm.
And it's part of our day-to-day struggle sometimes, right? I think we all have some type of days well, we want to say, I don't know if I can do this today. I don't know if I can get through this particular circumstance. But the main thing is that I have family that has truly, truly, truly struggled with mental health. And, they've had to see counsel, or, some of them had to be medicated because of it. You know what I mean? So it changes the atmosphere of what you can and cannot do. You have to definitely start looking for other ways as getting out your thoughts, definitely getting out your thoughts, right?
Because like medication, like because I take medication, and medication doesn't do everything. That's what people need to understand. They think, oh, once I take the medication, I'm going to be good, but you have
Mhm,
to do stuff. You have to do things as well. You have to take care of yourself as well. The medication
mhm,
doesn't do everything. So you have to
mhm.
like balance it out.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. In your books that you've released so far, and talking to maybe other students or other ladies in your age range, or even younger, high school,
Yes.
have you seen an impact on, what they have started to change in their life just from reading your books?
Yes, some of the times I'll go to different places and share my story, and I tell people, and I remember online on Facebook, people would comment about the book, and they were like, "Oh my goodness, this book changed my life," and I see what you went through, and I'm going through the same thing, and I
Mm,
remember somebody had told me they actually purchased the book for somebody else, and they sent it to them, and they actually were like so amazed by the book, and that made me feel good. Even if I could just touch one or two people, my job is done.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Just if I could change a life, that's what really makes me happy. Like just to be able to change a life just by them
Yeah.
reading what I've written. So. That's the best
Wow.
feeling in the world.
It is the best feeling in the world, especially when they come to you and say, you know what, something you said just rung in my ears. You know what I mean? It's like something that you mentioned was so vitally important. And, you know, it takes a lot to bring out personal experiences through books.
Mhm.
Would you agree?
Yes, definitely.
I mean, it's a scary thing, right? Sometimes in writing Brighter Days Ahead, I was like, I don't know if I would. I'm not sure if this topic will be the right topic to put into the book. Maybe I should skip this particular section of experience because somebody may read into it real wrong, right? But at the same time, it's also, allowing you to free yourself of some of the things that, right?
Mhm.
For yourself of some of those things that you thought was holding you down mentally, emotionally. You know what I mean? Don't you think so?
Yes, because when I decided that I needed help, like I told you before, I was 16 when it started coming on. When I decided I had symptoms going on, but when I really realized I needed help is when I started having like auditory hallucinations. So
Mm.
that I actually reached out to like a counselor at school. And so it's just like a lot to talk. I'm sorry.
I know, I
About
understand.
it, just thinking about that time. It was a rough
Yeah.
time for me.
Oh, I know, girl. Don't let me talk about my rough times.
It gets me a little emotional, that's what I'm trying to. So
I know how you feel. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. So once that happened, and then other things like having anxiety attacks, depression, and
Ooh,
and I just feel like I wrote it as like in the book, The Struggle Is Real. I actually wrote it that way where I started having these symptoms and like what I
yeah.
did, what happened. And I just feel like it was a release, like you said, it was a
Yeah.
release. Because at
Yeah.
first, you don't want people to know that you were hearing voices or you were seeing things. You didn't
Yeah.
really want anybody to know that part. Because before it's like, all right, depression, anxiety, that's not normal, but it's not like
Right.
what you talk about, like hearing voices and like, it's kind of because you're like, people gonna think that I'm crazy, things like that. But I just want people to know also, just because you have those things, it's not make you crazy. All right. It's
Right.
not crazy. It's that you have these chemicals imbalance in your brain and it's causing you to hear and see things that are not there. So don't think that you're crazy or anything like that. I really don't like when people say crazy because it's like you're not crazy. It's just
You're
you're
not crazy.
not
Yeah.
crazy. But it is,
Yeah.
like you said, it is a release, just to get it out there because
It
before,
is a
I don't go around saying like, oh, I was hearing voice, you know what I mean? So just to write it in the book was like a release, right?
and then you when you put it in a book, you're like, oh, I feel relieved that I've actually got that out there, right? And you had a chance to share it with someone. One of the things that I like to do is talk to other women about, even outside of what we're doing today with Authors Unite. I love to hear other women's stories, and teenagers. I love
Yeah.
to hear what teenagers are going through right now because I can explain to them, you know what, I went through that. You know what I mean? And to let them know that it's not the end of the world because they're going through something right now, that there's much more to look forward to. You know what I mean? And that they can push forward. And even though it feels hard now, it gets better later with just being, consistent and, praying on it and things of that nature. You got to make sure you get into, reading well and surrounding yourself with the right people, and all that plays into that
Yeah.
mental health of moving through what you're going through at that time, right? So I've been there. They may not have called it mental health issues, but I had some mental health issues. Quite honestly, because I mean, if we're real with each other, and if we're real with each other, and if we're real about our situations and our circumstances and our experiences,
Mhm.
then we can actually honestly say, hey, because I went through that. I think it was a mental challenge when I went through the whole thing of being held by gunpoint. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Many years ago when I was in the financial institutions, I was a teller and I was held by gunpoint.
Mm.
And after that, my mental health was so much all over the place. I mean, I was afraid to be in the house by myself. You know what I mean? I was afraid to walk in a parking lot, in a dark parking lot with, looking around my all the time, making sure that no one
Nobody.
is coming to hit me, that kind of thing. And, always having to call and check in with somebody. All that was like, I don't know if it was just the chemicals in my brain, like you just said, was starting to pop off,
Mhm.
but it was anxiety was high.
Mm.
And fighting those attacks was high. You know what I mean? So when I had a chance to get your information on Authors Unite from In City Magazine, I was like, I gotta talk to her. It's refreshing to see that you're able to talk about your experiences and put it out there and to be as transparent
Mhm.
as you have been through this. So I give you all claps and praise for that, because that's definitely, it's hard to do.
Yes. Yes.
It's hard to do. And I'm thankful that you've actually done that. At least for our ladies that need maybe someone that they can look to and say, you know what? I remember reading that. She went through that. I can get through it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It's you may be the poster board for that to come, and you just don't even know. You know what I mean? So very, very excited that you had a chance to put all that out there. So as of today, I know that started when you were 16, right?
Mhm.
So as of today, what are some of the things that you do to keep your mental health exactly where you want it to be, or to make sure if you know that you're feeling opposite, how to pull yourself back in the right direction?
Well, first of all, prayer, of course, praying and keeping in the word, and support from family, that's very important as well. Having the support. I remember like my mom is like my biggest like support system. When I
Mm-hmm.
was going through it as a teenager, my mom would go to all these different churches to get prayer for me, and they called her. People actually were saying, comparing her to the woman in the Bible where, if the lady in the Bible where she said, if I could just touch the garment of Jesus Christ, I
Okay.
would be healed. So they kind of like compare my mother to that, because she was like, if I could just, find
Touch
something.
the hem of his garment, right?
Yes. So
Mhm.
she was like the biggest person supporter, took care of me, made sure I was okay. And
Mhm.
so that's a big thing too. And I could actually go to her sometimes like, all right, I'm not feeling, the best, and I'm not feeling it. She was like, she'll give me encouragement. Like I get help from, church, as I said, my
Mhm.
first lady, my pastor, they all know everything that I've been through. And I have
Mhm.
like such a great support system, which is very important, because
Mhm.
you can't do it on your own. You can't do it by yourself. You need that support. It's to go through all of that, it's like you definitely need support. Even if it's not family, just find somebody that you can talk to. It doesn't have to be family, just somebody you can talk to, somebody that's there, because you
Yeah.
can't do it by yourself. I just can't see you doing it by yourself. Like you need that extra help. You need,
Yeah.
so what I feel is like self-care also. It's like if I'm feeling down, what I do is I always say I have to have something to look forward to. So I'll self-talk to myself, like, all right, Jessica, you have this coming up, you have this coming up. So it's like, and I get excited about it, like, okay, yeah, so we're gonna keep moving, gonna keep pushing, like, oh, you have this to look forward to, you gotta keep going, you gotta keep going. So I think about that. Yeah, that's how I get through it. Self-care, self-talk,
Yeah.
prayer, support from family, even writing, doing something that I enjoy doing, that actually like helps me as well. Writing, being a creative, music, listening to music, because I'm also a DJ, so I'm always into music. So listening to good music, watching something good on TV, just little things like that. You have to do things for yourself sometimes, treat
Oh
yourself,
yeah.
that's how I get through it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm a music fiend, and
Definitely.
I use all of those things that you and I just talked about. I actually, do the self-care. One day a week, I have to make sure I do something for myself at
Yeah.
least. Even if it's just lock myself into a bathroom and take a nice long bath and cut the phones off. You know what I mean?
Yes.
All of that, right? Exactly. And so, you have to take that time for yourself. Most importantly is your power five. I've always felt like having that power five around you is like so vitally important. People that are positive, people that are doing things that you want to do,
Yes.
people that are hold you accountable to your dreams and things like that. It helps you keep moving forward instead of standing still, right?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So that's one of the things that, I found. And counseling, I promise you, when I went through that situation, I was out with pastor. I need some talk about some things. Seriously, I mean, you can't be afraid to talk to that one person or that one or two persons that you think in your life that won't judge you.
Mm.
You know what I mean? That don't have any judge, that's non-biased.
Yes,
That's like
Therapy helps.
Therapy helps. I mean, it's non-biased and that believe in what you're trying to do and pushing for and everything. So those are all the things that I saw behind the scenes. So, even with mental health, there's so much more to us,
Yes.
right? There's so much more to us with trying to get through particular parts of our lives and things like that. Where is it that you think that, or you feel that you're headed? What direction you think you're headed? Because you're headed in some major directions. I don't want to give it all away, but tell us what all you're doing in the community and possibly what you got coming out soon.
All right. So basically, I'm gonna continue on with the mental health things. Like last year we did a mental health day. I want to do more though mental health days, but I have youth come in and we talk about mental health and things like that. So I really want to do that more. I actually do have projects coming out soon. Working on little things like that. I can't really mention right now, but if you follow me on, I'm sure that my platforms will be on there. Then you get to know, what I'm planning to do next.
Yes. And when you release it, I'm gonna be tickled pink. I'm like, there you go.
Bigger and better things. That's all I can really say. We're gonna do bigger and better things.
Bigger and better things is what you got coming up. I love it. So we have, things that we are trying to do with a group of our authors and things like that. And one of those things is, changing the perspective, changing the perspective of what people perceive you as versus who you are, right? And that's one of the things that we're talking about with that mental health. That's going to be fantastic to have those things pulled together and blend in with all of these ladies and gentlemen that, have something to offer to the Authors Unite platform. So I'm excited that we're going to push forward and bring out some more stuff and some more things. And I can't wait to see when you release your extra stuff. I just want to just drop it off. I can't drop it, but I mean, I'm not trying to wait. But I get excited whenever I see that, authors like yourself that are just, doing bigger and better things. And even at, you're a little bit younger than me, but hey, even at your age range, you are rocking it, girl. You're rocking it. So, that's fantastic. That is fantastic. So proud of you. And you're welcome. So one of the things I want to do is I want to make sure everybody knows how to follow you, how to connect with you, how to get your books, how to actually read those, especially The Struggle is Real. I mean, where do they go to get all of this and make sure you get that credit?
Okay, so here's The Struggle is Real. It's available on Amazon.com. Just put in The Struggle is Real by Jessica Baggett. You can follow me on Instagram at Protégé, Protajay. Facebook.com/Jessica Baggett. What else? Twitter at Writer86. And also TikTok at Protégé86. That's all my platforms right now.
You do a TikTok? I haven't gotten to TikTok.
I haven't done it yet. I'm learning the thing. I'm learning it, so I'm going to be starting to do TikToks more often. I haven't done it yet, but I'm planning on doing like mental health things on TikTok. So just look up for that at Protege.
Yes.
Make sure you follow me on TikTok. I have some great stuff to share. And
Yeah.
I'll be on there pretty soon. Pretty soon I'll be on TikTok.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm excited. Thank you so much for being with us today and talking more. You're welcome. And talking more about this mental health and talking about how you from 16 until now and how you were able to bring all that together and relay it in the books that you can help other ladies go through the same thing, even gentlemen, even guys that's going through something similar, that they can, have a guide and even be able to answer questions in the back of the book about what they're currently going through and sort of gauge where they are in their mental health. That's phenomenal. So yes, I'm watching.
Oh, wait, one more thing. My website, www.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. My website is www.eclectic1.com.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, you got to put the website on there, girl. Put some respect on it.
I forgot about the website.
We got to definitely make sure we mention your website. So yeah, but we're going to actually have all that information together so people can follow you as well. This is going to be going in different directions as far as more media, but we'll make sure that we have that listed as well. So I'm excited for you. And thank you so much for being with us today on Authors Unite. We got more to come, more to come. These authors are so exciting. I mean, I'm like, goodness, I love it that we have the chance to talk to them and learn who they are. So thank you. And we're honored and we are privileged that we've had the opportunity to talk with Ms. Jessica BAGGETT today. All right. All right. Stay tuned, everyone, for the next Authors Unite. Thank you for being with us. This is Demetris Curry, sponsored by W2AV Talk, and also with In City Magazine is our media platform partners. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to W2AV Talk with author and wealth strategist Demetris Curry. Connect with Demetris at demetriscurry.com and subscribe to the Demetris Curry YouTube channel today.